Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to Toby Dice Adventures, presenting our wonderful Wednesday evening fun, The Dimensional Dial of Dr. Diago. I am Matt, ever your host and Dimension Master for your Wednesday evening festivities, and I am joined once again by the best cast that a man could ever ask for, starting with KJ.
Hello, I'm KJ. I play the party's cleric paladin or rogue, depending on the situation, petrichor or Riley, and everything is fine.
Yep. Moving on. Taylor.
Hello, my name is Taylor, also known as Nerdy Pinup Girl on most social media platforms, mainly active on TikToks and the Instagrams. Today, I am playing the wonderful and oh-so-pleasant Xanthi Nightingale, the sorceress of the party. She's trying her best.
Yep. Moving on to our first guest of this arc, Dia.
Hey guys, I'm Dia, also known as Diago.cos on all social media. I play Favors, who is one of two guests here on this campaign. She is the not water. We were just talking about that, Taylor. Air Genasi Our little nomadic traveling merchants. Nothing at all special. Just here for a good time.
Nope. Moving on. Down to the bottom row. Victor.
Hi, it's me, Victor. You can find me as Victor _ the Story Weaver on TikTok, and I play Baro the Wandering Monk, who his name is Baro and he's a wandering monk. Ain't
Yep.
that? Yeah.
Moving on.
Hi,
I had to. It didn't fit, but I had to, Victor. To our second guest of this arc. So happy to have her with us, Ren.
Hi, I'm Ren. I go by Mask Ren on TikTok, and it's 4 in the morning. Hello.
Alrighty. That being said, without further ado, last time on the Dimensional Dial of Dr. Diago, our party was... Where did we start? That's where we started. We started with our party dwindled down to none other than Xanthi Nightingale and Feyruz, searching for any other member of the party. Why? Because most of them went off in their own direction, and it was not traumatic at all for Xanthi to be alone in a strange land. Eventually, they found a mysterious stranger who performed an incredibly daring feat of acrobatics and we'll call it aeronautic skill. Yeah, we'll go with that. We're going to make up words today. But yes, the party was introduced to Janai, a half-elf individual that slowly but surely we discovered was a novice at the Way of Wind Monastery. They helped Xanthi get back to the Way of Wind Monastery, but back inside, and found the right area where they found Petrichor seated, not patiently at all, especially as KJ comes back, waiting for Baro to return from a secret meeting with the master of the monastery, Master Ugri Mistsun. That meeting went very well. Everybody knows exactly everything that happened. No, there was no misdirection or any amount of veiled intentions at all in anything anybody said. It was all incredibly straightforward because that's how I do things. Moving on. Baro returned after having a slightly jarring revelation about his studies and where they could possibly lead, and after meeting up with the party at almost the same time as Clucky McCluckerson, who discovered a mosaic on a wall nearby where the children play all the time in this town of Oasia. This mosaic depicted a figure that looked very much so like himself, standing around a lot of people who are looking up at him in admiration, and the top portion of this mosaic has been broken off and lost to time. So, an incomplete prophecy, if you will? Nobody knows. Again, I'm straightforward with everything that I do here. The group met up and had their conversations about about what they were going to do, and trying to learn a little bit more about each other. It's been told to Baro that there are two people that he needs to help. Coincidence? I think not. And as he's trying to learn about these two individuals, one says something that's just literally the tiniest little bit, maybe we should look into this, and he opened that can of worms and it spilled out all over the entirety of dimension number 8 with
Let's go fishing, baby.
one word. Carapace. What on earth could that mean? What is going on with this prophecy of Clucky, and how will Borrow help our two new friends? These questions and more have yet to be diced. We pick up right where we left off. Borrow hearing a sound that should not be with what everybody else is hearing, or what everybody else is seeing. That is because, as revealed after the stream to the party, not entirely everything, but all that I said was there was a mild bit of above-the-table deception happening, because I get to play with how certain characters perceive certain things. Because it does sort of make sense that in a world where people can appear as though they are half dragon, or they have the face of a lion, or they're 2 feet tall and have very long ears and talk with a Brooklyn accent. There's a very wide range of who can be what. And who is Borrow to question if his party is being very cordial with an individual just because they do not look humanoid? As to keep the suspicion with the rest of the party, Ren, I'm going to ask you if you can message Victor directly and provide a description of what he would perceive. Whether or not that is typed or if that is an actual picture, that is up to you.
Secrets.
This is the beauty of it. As I start revealing Borrow lore, I get secrets to keep myself. It's the balance of the force, really. This is just...
Borrow just keeping all the good stuff to himself. Selfish blind man.
So much.
See, everyone, if you want a big DM tip, when you have a character who can literally perceive everything that is within a between 30 and 90 foot radius around them, depending on the perception check, you have to get creative with what the player knows.
I hate your fucking face right now, Victor. You got a little stinker face going on right now.
I did not create this dimension, nor the characters that we have encountered.
You still got a stinker face.
I only created one of those things, and then I just gave prompts to 2 individuals, and you're only unleashing part of the chaos right now.
Oh, God.
All in due time.
I can hear the Pokemon battle music starting right now.
That's fine. It's fine.
I can't remember what the music sounds like, so I improvised.
Good.
No.
This way we won't get copyrighted. So that being said, while that is happening, we'll take this moment to check in with the rest of the party. Looking at Feyruz and Xanthi, knowing that the party is going to be heading out in a certain place in as yet to be determined direction. Xanthi, what do you believe the next step is for the Dimensional Dial crew?
Xanthi is currently doing a head count, just making sure everybody's there.
That is completely valid. As far as I am aware, as far as I, the DM, am aware, everybody is still here.
Okay.
There are 6 people. 7 if you count the other one inside the child's head.
Question. Just for a quick recap, what exactly did Borrow ask that brought up, the whole carapace situation?
It related to why Janai needed to navigate the winds of the rift. And Janai paused and said they just needed to test something.
Does Borrow seem any sort of, is no change in expression, just the Borrow face? Okay. God damn it.
That blank stare that he has all the time because his eyes don't actually do anything.
At this point, while Borrow is kind of getting acquainted with Janai and Feyruz, Xanthi probably is more just checking in on Petrichor and Clucky, just making sure they're staying out of trouble. She herself, kind of more sees as Borrow probably being the one to best navigate this situation, considering he seems to be somewhat familiar with it. And so she is more just going to try to focus on keeping the party together and making sure Clucky doesn't wander off trying to play God or something. And yeah.
Fair enough.
More just waiting for Borrow's call, really.
If I may be so bold, I would say that probably Riley is waiting with Borrow, again, like you, waiting on Borrow's call. Clucky just getting more and more impatient, like he does. He wants to move on to the next step, even though it's getting later in the day, and maybe you guys should be thinking about sleeping before heading out. Feyruz, you have a wonderful, eclectic group of individuals here. What is, without being too revealing, what is going through Feyruz's mind?
Well, if we need to charge up a little magical artifacts, piece, whatever brought them here in the first place, then it would be worth pursuing some magical ruins in the desert. Whether or not that's the ones I'm searching for, oh well, it's an adventure all the same.
Fair points. And explore, perhaps we shall. So, Borrow, and now Victor being let in on what Borrow can perceive. You've gotten this answer, you've made your insight check, you've gotten the results that we got last week, and now you are aware of what Borrow is looking at. I believe that means the proverbial ball is in your court.
Here's the thing, though. And I don't want this to come across as greedy, but whilst the inside, the Borrow roll was very high, and one of the biggest things that we've provided about this has been the revelation of the appearance of this new individual. The inside, whilst grateful for what has revealed from a perspective of the physicality of the character, was very much also focused on the intention of the comment that Janai made about, I just need to, it's like, oh, why do you got to do this? I just do. It's that thing of, it's really that I think would be what Barrow would be trying to get a read on.
So
I
that
don't know if,
that was touched on last week. Perhaps it got a little bit overshadowed by the word carapace, but
maybe.
I don't want to misquote. So Ren, if you don't mind, what exactly would Ren have meant by "I just need to" in regards to navigating the rift between the material and the elemental?
Yeah, I think I said. What did I say?
You mentioned it was to do with the desperation of someone who died.
Yes, thank you. The desperation of someone who, like, for all intents and purposes, you couldn't tell anything was physically wrong with them, but it seemed like it's the kind of tone that hints at someone that is like, on the verge of death, and there's just an unevenness, an unsteadiness, and someone that is just trying to play it off as if it's just something that they want to do because they don't know you yet.
Gotcha. Thank you for the refresher. I don't think Barra is not going to address Janai's, what he perceived from Janai. I think he becomes aware of it. He has that sense and he feels that, puts a pin on it. And now he's just trying to sort of get the party organized. And he just has a moment where he thinks and shares with the group. All right. So it appears we have a few tasks that we are after. Tasks that I suppose if we support one another, we can assist and make more efficient. We need to find our journey onto the next dimension. Feiruz, you mentioned the assistance to get to the location you're trying to go. Janai, you seem to be curious to find your way to the elemental plane of air for nothing too strenuous, it seems. But I also believe that there may be something of importance about this, and he uses his staff to extend it and tap the stone where the painting is. I do not believe that whatever this is something that we are to ignore. That being said, Janai and Feiruz, you are from here, or at least longer than we are. I do not suppose that you may have knowledge or information that may assist us with the origin of this piece.
The stone that had the clucky mural on it, does it seem to be approximately the same age as some of the ruins out in the waste? Or similar to?
Given that this is probably your first time that you've taken a good look at it, you've probably walked by this and seen it, but
Never
it's
noticed.
picture on the wall.
Never interested.
Yeah. So being the first time that you're inspecting it, give me, we'll call it a history check. Taylor just lit up your Christmas tree.
History check!
I'd say at the very least it appears like it could be like the same age as these ruins, so possibly old world. You know that this formation of rock that you guys are on, the monastery was canonically, like you've been told, lifted from the ground when the great upheaval happened. So that goes without saying that this very much so could be something from the before times, but beyond that, can't really tell.
Have there been old wives' tales or legends specifically to do with the likes of Yarakokra floating around?
Not any that Feyruz has paid attention to.
Would they have taught us anything? When I was a young warthog.
When I was a young warthog. I'll have Janai give me a history check as well.
Great. Oh, my character sheet. That's a 6.
You're asking the worst student you could be asking.
And that's exactly how I'm going to frame this. You look at this and you search your memories, and all of a sudden you are a tiny Janai in the monastery looking up at Master Xeric, who says, and I quote, "Now that mosaic comes from," and then you tune out because a bird flew by the window and you wanted to go flying.
Sounds about right. Unfortunately, I don't remember much. I wasn't good in lessons often, especially the ones where we had to sit down and they would lecture us about things. It wasn't my strong point.
Very well.
I don't recall seeing any similar murals in my travels in the past, unfortunately. Or stories for that matter. It might be worth asking Yarakokra. Maybe they would know their own stories themselves.
Indeed. Sorry, GM, in the time that we've been in this temple, in this area, have there been any dwarves around?
One or two that you're aware of.
I'm gonna say Baro has a moment of, there is another thing I might like to try, but I think starting asking the Arakokra might be a good idea. Does everyone agree?
I agree, but whichever one of you that he is the least upset with should do the asking.
Oh, you meant to ask Master Zero. Oh, I meant asking the children. We went two different directions there, but both are possible.
Perhaps we can attempt both things. And Borrow just has a moment where he looks at Clucky and says, Clucky,
Okay, I get to try this.
it seems that the small Aarakocra children seem to have quite grown fond of you. And
They're very good at playing. I think they called it tag. I don't much get it, but I would tag them, I guess, and then they were it, and then they would tag me, and I was it, and it was fun. That's all I remember.
yes. So, how would you like a mission that involves the children? It's very simple. You just want to make sure that they come to us to meet them so that we can ask them about your painting.
Got it. And he goes to fly away.
Wasn't it?
He thinks you mean right now.
Borrow wouldn't have expected otherwise.
Isn't it late?
He's like,
It is
what
late.
else? What else?
It's been sort of alluded to that it's later in the day and the children are probably at home with their families.
Oh, my bad. Can I then recap that? Because I absolutely had none of that in mind. In my brain,
See, the way that I took it was like you were trying to tell him, like, maybe later on we'll try to get this to happen, and then
Borrow
was gonna
knows
be like,
better.
Oh, go get them now.
Borrow knows better. There is absolutely no way that Clucky would even have, no, he wouldn't. He wouldn't put a schedule. Like, let me put it in my calendar.
Reverse.
Okay, so it's late night. It's late at night. So, perhaps if everyone has already turned in, we can all rest for the night and start tomorrow early.
Honestly, I could use a nap. I need to get sand out of these clothes.
I would know where guests can stay.
So there is, in fact, an inn in the confines of the township of Oasia. It's not like, this is really like a tourist destination or anything like that, but the couriers that go between the settlements on the different floating islands, sometimes they need to stay in one spot or another, so generally they're just places to sleep or grab a bite to eat. They're nothing fancy. And one such that you know of that got its name from a sign that was recovered out in the desert, and they put it up in front of their building. The Fat Pilgrim.
Taylor.
I'm sorry. It's so goofy.
That was very much so accentuated by the fact that your camera froze for a second, so you were just completely still with that laugh. And it was very entertaining.
I'm sorry. It's just so goofy.
Janai will hold out a hand, and then, because again, this is telepathic and signing. There is a place, an inn, that you could find rest at. The monks of the monastery are generous. I'm not sure what standing you've left yourself in, Borrow, but you can, if you don't want to be parted from the rest of your group, you can find some rest there.
And there shall we go.
To the Fat Pilgrim.
Thank you.
Beautiful. So, the party makes their way to the Inn of the Fat Pilgrim. The sign out front, a humanoid individual seated on a barrel, just very large pot belly, very cheerful expression on his face, dressed in fancy attire, and the simple wooden door of the wooden building. You all can enter. There are mismatched tables and chairs throughout the area. There's a couple individuals that are seated and and having a meal of some type, and they're all wearing, these lighter armors. Some of you remember our courier friend and the wingwear that he was wearing.
Smash.
Some of them not quite wearing that. Some of them are Aarakocra, or they are Air Genasi, or they are other types of races that have the ability of flight. Owlin. You even see a winged tiefling in the corner. And
Smash.
yes. They're just one by one, left to right, top to bottom. There is the makings of a bar, if you will, and behind it stands a wood elf feminine individual who is, just talking away with another individual that is eating some food and getting ready to call it a night.
Would I know the name of the proprietor of this establishment?
Her name is
Name?
Kether.
Kether. Just a point of note. Favors would have gathered as Lani on our way to the inn, and have just led him on the leads. Left him outside, but she will go up to the counter and just ask, would you happen to have not a room per se, but space to stable my creature?
I mean, probably. What are we looking for lodging for?
And then she'll just point out the window to where Aslani has poked his head in.
Yeah, he's just kind of looking like, what's Feyru's doing? Just like looking around in there and just, well, there's there's an overhang out back. It's more so like a patio area, but we can move the tables and the chair, and that way, if it rains, they won't be out in the elements. But it's a place. Sorry, he is a little big, so.
Oh yes, he's quite big. No, that will do just fine.
Right. So yeah, at some point she will go and make a space for Aslani out back. That being said, she looks to you and just goes, and for yourself, are there any with you?
I have my own arrangements, but do you, and then she'll turn to the party, do you often stay together in one room, or do you prefer privacy, or what's the situation here?
Xanthi will kind of just look at Barrow because, like, we really haven't stayed in an inn, have we?
You have not stayed at a single inn in this entire campaign.
I'm literally thinking
How
about
many
it.
dimensions have we traveled? And as a D&D party, we have never stayed at a tavern or an inn.
I don't think you've even set foot in a tavern or an inn.
Oh,
Despite
God.
being mentioned in
they're trying to
Ebenfell,
kill us
but beyond
every
that.
Yeah, the only tavern we've been in is the tavern that we met at, where Xanthi bought 5 gallons of whiskey.
Which wasn't even a tavern, it was an
It was the
adventurers guild.
Yeah.
It just had a bar. And
So
if you want to eat
let
something.
this be the day that we mark the first time the party actually enters a place that has accommodation for the night.
Yeah. You know
Wait,
what?
we're not sleeping on the floor?
I'll say it now, guys. You all meet in a tavern.
I don't know what
All
to
right,
do
you're
with
all
it.
level 1. Let's go.
A blind guy, a chicken, a sorceress, and a child walk into a bar.
KJ in the comments has a very good
The
point.
child walks under it.
You guys have only ever had a single room, and that was, I believe, in the Two Suns dimension. And then, aside from that, was the basement in Ebenfell.
Yeah, we slept on a bunch of pillows.
Yeah,
Um,
very Spartan
I guess.
for you guys.
Yeah, I guess Barrow will probably just have a moment of, if there is a place where we can all rest together, I think we would be grateful.
Right. Well, we do have a couple rooms. There is a communal bunk, but there are a few rooms, and and starts counting. Yeah, that should work. It's just gonna be 3 silver for the lot of you.
We don't have any silver, do we? Wait.
You guys have some amount of coin. From all of you, you have to have some amount of
Xanthi
coinage.
has 1 gold.
1
go.
gold is the equivalent of 10 silver, so
Xanthi will take her last gold piece and put it on the counter.
Believe it or not, Barrow has 209 gold pieces.
What the fuck?
I
I
remember
think you
when
knocked somebody out and took their gold. I just
Possible.
when searching them like Barrow does, and you were just like, I'm gonna hang on to this.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like Barrow's trying to make money, like,
No.
and you've just accumulated wealth.
Like, she knows she has the gemstones and stuff, but, like, Xanthi will take her last piece of gold out of her pouch, and she will put it on the table.
So I just rolled because the entirety of Oasia is very like, it's not a very fancy place, to be generous about it. She kind of looks up at you and goes, I don't think I can make change for you.
Xanthi just kind of pushes the coin forward and goes, then just make sure we all have a meal for the night with what's left.
That I can do, absolutely. No problem. Cather's my name. It's later, but it's not, the latest, so anything that the lot of you need, just let me know.
Much appreciated. Thank you.
In the meantime, I think Barrow will take the opportunity to use his enhanced sense of hearing to see if there's any conversation happening in the surroundings of this place that could be of use, informative, or revealing.
Give
Xanthi's
me
going for bards.
You're gonna look for bards? Is that what you said?
Sorry, go ahead. Finish up with Victor. But
Oh, okay. Yeah, go ahead. Give me a perception check.
Okay. Can I say that I hear KJ's voice saying, inspiration plus 6?
little
I
guy.
think I did hear that.
Yeah, I think I heard it through.
Probably. If
all
they
in
keep
the
bullshitting
wind.
about this for like another 30 seconds, they might actually say it in chat, but we'll see.
Yeah.
But while he's doing that, Xanthi's actually, considering that we're kind of looking at local legends and stuff like that, Xanthi will actually see if there's like any bards, like just kind of singing around late. I know it's late, but if there's anyone just even like telling old tales or for entertainment, etc.
For DM, that is going to be a 30.
Smash.
30.
This bar
Perfect.
rolls, I don't understand.
Really quick, just to touch back on what we said, Victor, you don't hear KJ say all of that because canonically, you just hear KJ screaming.
Baro just has a moment where he tilts his head. He's like, I hear a disturbance in the force.
Roll your d4!
With a 30, you do hear a couple different conversations. There's one where some people are actually talking about the Way of Wind Monastery and how they believe that it's haunted. There is somebody talking about a night where they were on the desert floor during a full moon, and they thought that there was a procession of ghosts. So another spooky story.
Ghost boy?
Somebody talking as if it were like a conspiracy theory, or like a, what am I thinking of? Like a story of like a cryptid kind of deal, like people talking about Bigfoot.
Oh,
This person swearing that some giant spiders in a place called Carmack Vale have grown wings and the ability to fly. And finally, somebody saying that a person by the name of Uthbaf has been enslaved by fairy folk.
I'm more concerned about the flying spiders.
Sorry. What was the last one?
Especially with carapace.
A person that there's a rumor that they have been kidnapped and enslaved by fairies.
Checks out.
Do you say a name of a person?
Uthbaf. Uthbaf. Euthbaf.
Okay. Duly noted. Obviously, with a 30, I probably already also got their social security numbers, but that's okay. We'll talk about that later.
Bold of you to assume that there's a social security administration.
So that's how Baro got that something 100 gold. He just steals people's identities. They don't even see it coming.
I care deeply.
I think Janai is going to move a bit closer to Fairuz, and just to you, because I don't have to whisper, because telepathy. We love it here. Where did you find these people?
Well,
Just ordered a noodle.
you see, as you're well aware, the waste, it gives us treasures and it gives us trash, and I was willing to take a chance and they could go either way. But they're interesting. So, I kept them.
I see. Do you think they're interesting enough to follow through with this thing they're seeking?
Yes, because I need them to find the thing they're seeking, so then I can find the thing I'm seeking. Mutually beneficial.
Ah, I understand a bit more now. Fine. Just asking. I didn't know if they had already accrued debt with you.
No, we're square. We're square.
Xanthi will sell her mind, body, and soul to make sure they're not in debt.
You've already done one of those 3.
Were you interested in tagging along? Will you be terribly missed?
Missed? Unlikely.
Hold on 1 second.
Mhm.
Me thinking, because I know about you two.
Mhm.
What do you
And-
mean?
Hang on. Message
Hanging
in.
on.
More fucking secrets. God damn.
So yes, will you be terribly missed?
Xanthi's currently just like staring across the bar, just looking at the bottle of whiskey.
Self-control, Santi.
Oh, literally, she's literally just sitting there, just.
Aggressive. He is typing.
I hear secrets.
I hear secrets. They're in the walls.
More secrets.
I'm just saying, if you were so inclined, your presence might be helpful along the road.
Mhm.
My presence. That alone.
Your presence. It's a very twisty road with a lot of darker places, and you know how it goes.
I do know how it goes.
Useful.
I almost want to say if you're trying to ask me something, but I feel like I'm going to push my luck and end up having it come back on me. I will tag along.
Well, I was hoping. The more the merrier, right? It's safer in numbers these days, unfortunately, quite annoyingly. Huh. Yeah.
We're going to have to go to ground, aren't we?
Oh, yes.
Wonderful. Always a pleasure with you, Fires.
Thank you. That's the sweetest thing you've ever said to me.
Mm-mm. Should I just break the telepathy?
I shifted.
So, while you guys are here, there is a variety of different things that you could be offered to eat. Different cheeses or nuts or breads. There's eggs. There are porridge. A couple other different things. Whatever sounds good to you guys. Also, the availability for beer, ale, mead, or stouts, as well as water or milk, Xanthi. And if you're very nice, tea.
Oh.
Xanthi would probably immediately like order some tea. Just like she's still just dead ass staring at the bottle of whiskey. Just tea, please, please, get me some tea, please.
And as you are begging for tea, and I am getting messages behind the scenes, Riley is adamantly asking for apple juice, which unfortunately they cannot accommodate.
Do they
The
even have
closest that they
chocolate
can
milk?
do is mead, because there is fruit.
Xanthi immediately is like, no mead for the child.
I didn't think so, but that's all that we could get. And Riley gets very upset. I've just been told.
Do they have chocolate milk?
They have chocolate.
They have milk, so I was wondering if they had chocolate milk.
Have
You know what?
chocolate.
We're gonna make another one of these.
Chocolate is what's a delicacy.
Yeah, quite literally. She's going to say chocolate.
No idea.
Just never mind.
We would have arak, which is in a distilled alcoholic beverage that's made out of anise. But again, I don't think that would be appropriate for a child.
No, starting young is not the way to go. But Xanthi would probably order the adult Lunchable with the meat and cheese and share it with Riley.
The adult Lunchable.
All right.
Sankuterie board.
Sankuterie board. Alrighty. Anything else that the party would like to do before taking a rest?
Towards the end of the night, Fires would get, as Lani settled in, sort of give him a brief update on what's happened throughout the day as she's removing the heavier saddlebags for his comfort. And once he's settled, she's just going to dissipate into a little breeze that enters her bottle and has a very comfortable night's sleep.
Very comfortable indeed.
Burrow would have asked the innkeeper if there are any stonemason dwarves or any mason workers that they know about in the area.
She's gonna kind of think for a moment and just go, well, there's only the two dwarves that I'm aware of. I think Affer's a stone. It works with stone. He does the repairs on the monastery when they ask.
Thank you.
I think before Xanthi goes to bed, she will kind of just make casual conversation with what people look like with locals and just kind of casually just trying to kind of figure out any any of the local lore. She is very curious about this fucking description of Clucky. So she's kind of gonna be like, what's this deal with the Aarakocras around here, pretty much?
There is indeed, because you asked earlier, thank you for reminding me, a bard who is sitting in the corner playing a lyre, and a masculine individual with red hair and striking blue eyes, and very prominent pointed ears, as like Cather, the proprietor of the inn, he is also a wood elf.
Xanthi is going to kind of walk over. I don't she gave her last bit of coin. Would she have any copper on her or anything, or because I don't want to
have it on your sheet?
Fuck.
You do have, party members around.
Welcome to the Bank of Borrow.
I will say Xanthi is gonna kind of turn to Borrow and just kind of nudge him from me. Hey, Borrow, do you got any spare change?
Borrow literally just takes the pouch with the 209 gold and hands it to you.
That's spare change when Xanthi is the one carting around several bags of just rubies and sapphires.
Well, she doesn't want to just dump a bag of ruby and sapphires in this guy's fucking tip jar. But Xanthi is going to walk up. She's going to take a silver coin, flick it into the hat, and goes, "You got any songs about Aarakocras?"
Songs about Aarakocras.
The moment that we're all waiting for, guys, Matt's gonna sing for us.
Yay! 1, 2, 3, hit it!
My baby was an aristocrat and she loved to fly because she got me high. Now go ahead and drop some low so we can learn some more about this place right now.
I will turn this campaign around.
And TPK.
Oh wow.
Oh my god.
Oh, it's been fun guesting, guys. You did. It's great.
Party just breaks out into a flash mob. Everyone suddenly has a level in Bard. Bardo.
Jesus Christ. Y'all.
There
y'all
is
are
no
really
God
funny.
here. He abandoned us a long time ago.
He ran off to play with the kids, you know. We've got a mural. That's what we're looking for.
Oh, you asked a question. Anyway. He would turn to you and just say, songs about Aarakocra, no, but I know one written by an Aarakocra. It's a nice melody that I can play on this lyre. Of course, they would whistle it.
Well, honestly, just give me a good song about the history of this place. Anything that seeks your fancy. What's the most interesting tale that you have heard?
He just kind of gives you a smirk and a wink and starts playing. No, I'm not good enough to just ad-lib an entire song right here, but I can tell you what that song is about.
Yay, story time.
He goes into song talking about apologies. Sorry, reading through a couple things.
My chat has me rolling.
Okay. He tells you a song about a ship called the Mad Troubadour. This ship was actually the first ship made in Aetheria that had the ability to fly. And it was the pride of the Empire's navy for the 12 hours that it sailed before it was stolen.
Does it say by who?
The rest of the song details the incredibly successful pirating career of one Captain Fargus.
Captain Fargus.
A Triton individual who was known for his prowess on the battlefield and his unnatural charm.
All right. Xanthi will put a pin in that. Keep that in mind. And once he is done with his song, she will stand up, brush herself off. She will finish her tea, and she will just give a pleasant smile and go, "Thank you for the entertainment. Have a good night." And
You too.
She
Tips his
will.
hat.
And she will then excuse herself up to the bedroom and curl up in the corner and go to sleep.
Okay. Anybody else this evening before we all retire?
What's Janai doing?
Janai!
What's Janai doing? Janai doesn't look terribly uncomfortable in the space, but isn't really interacting actively with anyone. Is just kind of there at the counter, more looking at what you all are doing, just trying to get a general read on the party interactions and things, if they're gonna be tagging along with y'all. Just observe for a second. They don't eat or anything, so yeah, no, Janai is chilling out, and then once Xanthi begins to head up, Janai will actually, to borrow, you had a conversation with Master Ugri.
I did.
I only ask. He is a fairly reclusive individual, at least in terms of some of us students. He wouldn't interact with us much. How did you find him?
I didn't. He found me.
You definitely are one of us.
His secret's got secrets.
I suppose, to an extent, I am. Why? What about you?
What about me?
How did the wind lead you to the doorstep of the monastery?
It's not a story that is very different to many of the children here. I had found myself with no one at a young age, and so the winds took me to somewhere where I could learn about the way the world works, and I found that I wanted more than anything to become part of it. Which annoyed my instructors more than anything most days, but I've gotten closer.
And now, what is it that you are after?
There's that same shifting that you caught earlier, just of someone being caught off guard. Do I have to be after much?
Something doesn't need to be much to mean much. I'm going to say in this moment, he has a moment where you hear him say, "Excuse me," and he just finds like a little piece of like leftover bread from one of the nearby spots, and you see him without even looking throwing it in a direction, and it just hits the side of Riley. He just basically throws, and then it's just that moment of he just tilts his head, just like expectantly waiting for things to go back. Apologies. You may continue.
No, I enjoy your relationship. Though I am curious how you come to travel with a child. I'm going to assume it is an accident of sorts.
Accident? He literally just like hangs the question. No, considering the fact that you both are from the same monastery. It's that thing of like, you know what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
About that.
Yeah.
But he doesn't like wait for you to reply. He feels like it's obvious with the inflection. But then he just adds, there are two of them, actually. They share the same body, but there are two. One has been with us nearly since the beginning. The other came a little after. They are different from one another, talented in their own way. But both of them precious to us.
I see. Janai's whole body just twitches. I think I will see you all in the morning. Get a decent rest. It will be difficult on the ground.
Bara gives a nod, and before fully departing, he pauses and speaks to you. You may not know much about us, and there may be a lot to know and learn. But I'll tell you this. Much of the weight that many of us carried on our own suddenly became lighter when we carried it together. Have a good night.
Janai will nod, but not respond.
He just has a moment where he moves on his way. He just kind of goes toward where Riley is and actually offers his hand.
KJ, let us know if they handhold.
Yeah, we're all dying with anticipation.
Really?
Patience, you take it. Baro takes the hand and sort of leads Riley up as he also adds, just because of a skill giving you the ability to do something doesn't always mean that you are to act on it, no matter how good the job it was. I'm going to say that after leading them into the room where they're going to stay and setting everybody in, Barrow is probably going to go to... He's going to respond to that last comment of that Riley says about being bored and left unsupervised. As he adds, being bored isn't something you can easily distract by finding ways to be productive or pursue things.
Getting snacks is productive. I'm just saying.
If you wish to purchase something, we can do so. In the meantime...
Which is extra bad because Xanthi paid for all of your food.
Yes. I'll say that probably he also adds that says, we can do so, although I believe that with the payment that Xanthi has offered, anything that you may want from the food section should be available to us.
I did say that Xanthi got a Sankutery board and was going to share it with Riley, so...
There you go. So Riley has food waiting for them. Yeah, I'd say that probably Barrow will offer, will lead Riley and then probably gesture toward the smell that he catches of the board that Xanthi has, and nod to Riley for them to go and share some food with Xanthi if she wants. I think Barrow will probably stay a little awake later than the rest. He's going to dive into his book. Only this time around, and part of the reason why probably he spends longer awake is he's knowing now who wrote the book and who he met in the conversation he had. He's trying to find any information in the book that may be connected to the challenges, trials, and things that Ugri mentioned, as well as, if anything, any notes from Ugri that may refer to the fact of him turning into, just kind of going with the wind.
Gone with the wind.
So, given my understanding that, normally during downtime, Barrow reading this book has been more so a cover-to-cover kind of type of reading. Now that Barrow has something that he's looking for, I would say that this is more so searching, and I will ask for an investigation check. Nope, they are eating snacks.
Barrow
You
puts
cannot
his
help
snack on
if
his
it is break
shoulder.
time.
Barrow puts a snack on his shoulder. See
Little
if the little guy just comes up.
Snacks for a D6.
But he'll definitely eat a baguette because French and guidons.
AJ just yelled advantage in D6 in the comments.
Am I getting the advantage, Sir DM?
Fine.
The baby has spoken.
It didn't matter. The first roll was better anyway. That'll be... that'll be Dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Oh, wait.
So,
Wait,
oh.
I didn't do the... That's a 26.
There it is.
I think KJ's still yelling at you in the comments.
I am constantly being yelled at by KJ, not just during game time.
A working
Get up
class
and
20. Minimum wage 20.
Okay. You search through, and what you're kind of getting is that perhaps this book might have been written before Ugri was finished with his enlightenment. He was on the path and considering a couple options about how to, as much as a mortal can, be one with the wind. And this has been... He's studied this metaphorically, just trying to allow things to happen, try not to force things. There's a section where he describes how he literally journeyed the earth for a year, legitimately following what direction the wind was going. Like, if it turned left, that he turned left, and he did this for a year. At the end of which he says, perhaps this is not how you would become one with the wind. So it was basically a year of his life that some might say he wasted, but he believes he just found out another way not to become one with wind. There are hypotheses, if you will, of him mentioning perhaps meditation at a place that is tied to the elemental plane of air. He's mentioned the possibility of just trying to live without material or attachments of any kind to sort of spiritually relieve oneself of weight that is holding them down. He mentions, just trying to study how the wind moves, whether it be on a windy day, or how it moves through the branches of the trees, or how it bends a blade of grass. And this is all stuff that he has considered might be ways to try to attain this legitimate oneness with the way the world is. None of it really seems concrete on how he actually did it, though.
Ascension loopholes.
Otto's going to do one last thing before he goes to sleep. This inn that we are in, how tall of a building is it?
2 stories.
Barrow is actually going to step outside with the book. He's going to wall run up to the top of the building. And he sits atop, places the book in front of him, and at first he thinks to do something similar to what he's done before, where he lets his stick drop. But then he remembers what Ugri wrote about following the wind where he took him, and realizing this is probably not the way. And instead of just waiting for the wind to try to potentially move and open a page and just kind of going for that, he actually does a smaller version of one of the wind forms with his hands. And he sort of does this whenever he feels the breeze coming. He sort of allows the wind to come to him, but instead of just letting the wind do the work as in like on its own, he attempts to sort of move his hands as it comes around while his hands are over the book to see if anything happens that may give him a further answer.
Give me just a wisdom check.
Does that, can I use guidance on that?
Yeah, why not? I mean, I said check, so it's allowed. I'm just...
Don't worry about it. That's a nat one.
No, I don't want to be rude. We're going to do it this way. Borrow, while doing this form and trying your hardest to focus on trying your hardest to focus during this form to gain the answers you seek. Standing on top of a roof in the middle of the night. How do you fuck up?
I am Batman.
Borrow is attempting to do this motion as the wind comes by, and he underestimates the strength of the wind blow current that comes. And as he's attempting to make the move, because he was in the middle of it, the wind actually makes the book slide, and it starts to fall as it to slide down from the roof. And Borrow has to make an attempt to grab the book. And in that attempt, as he grabs it, he hears a little as one of the pages almost fully tears out. And is a moment where he's holding the book in that position where like his hand is kind of weird through the pages, and it's just between a couple of the fingers where there's that page that just was the first thing he grabbed. And he stays completely still for a moment, just pressing with his grip to make sure that he doesn't slide further and he doesn't fall. And he manages to recover it and just senses the page, sort of tucks it in, closes the book, and goes back into the room to rest for the night.
Got it. Anybody else before the evening is up?
Once Riley's ready to go to bed, that's when Xanthi will go up to bed as well.
Knowing that you mentioned Riley, and it seems that everybody is going to bed, the accommodations in this inn, small room with a handful of like tables, chairs, and things of that nature. But KJ, I know, but the accommodations for sleeping, the beds, they are hammocks hanging from the four corners of the ceiling, and it isn't long into the evening before you realize this is because you guys are on a floating island, and perhaps it's safer to either sleep on the floor or sleep in a hammock that can sway back and forth, because as the floating island can shift, you might fall out of bed. That being said, to whomever is paying attention, Riley, during the rest, pulls out her giant snuggle beast, lays pointedly next to wherever Barrow sets up, pulls her bare hood up, and just disappears under it, only her hands and feet showing from snuggling the snuggle beast. Not really sleeping, just there.
That is so stinking cute. Xanthi would just be trying to get into the hammock while also trying to like fold her wings in and just like.
Would you like this to be canonically the moment of struggle that Xanthi learns she can retract those wings?
Yes. Like she's kind of sitting there, she goes, "God damn it! I wish these would just be gone," and just.
And so they were. Or is it more of a body horror? They are retracted into, everybody's unnerved, and now they have to sleep.
I would probably say just like with Xanthi's aesthetic, it's probably more body horror based.
Cracking
just
bone.
hear the cracking of bones and like the shifting of flesh as her wings just kind of seem to fold into her back, and the long like there's the whoosh part. Well, there's the base part, and then there's the whoosh part, and the whoosh part would be aligned together down the spine of her back, and I due to the fact that her outfit probably now has like a giant holes in the back, you probably would see glimpses of brand marks and large craters where tubings used to be on her back and her shoulders. And now she's gonna climb into the hammock with a little bit less effort, and she's gonna curl up and go to sleep.
Wonderful. So, we all lay down for rest. Not that we had a particularly arduous day the day before, but some things were revealed, and perhaps we need to sleep on some new information, some decisions to be made, some coming to reality of the group that you are now traveling with, for better or for worse.
Yay!
And through that break, or through that rest, I let it go, we are going to take a short 10-minute break. We are going to see you all on the other side. Don't touch that dial, not even the dimensional dial. Ha ha ha. Alrighty. See y'all soon.
Jokes.
And welcome back to the Dimensional Dial of Dr. Diago with To Be Diced Adventures. That's us. That is all of us. And if you like all of us and all the things that we do, well, first of all, go follow us all on social media and stuff where you can see us doing what we do. And also tune in other nights during your weekly scheduled Twitch programming, up to and including tomorrow night, Thursday nights, when we shall be diving into the Tales of Varden. Also, we are looking for a perfect date to battle the scheduling monster and get everybody for a Sunday evening for the Frontiers of Eberron, the much needed conclusion of that story. And the Yeehaw campaign. And of course, the excuse me. Sorry, I read a message and it threw me off of my entire game here. Anyway, Tuesday evenings, The Edge of the Empire, our Star Wars game where we've just completed a wonderful heist and then somebody tried to blow us up. These are all of the things that we do on a semi-regularly scheduled basis. You know, life happens, and we all just here to have fun and vibe. So it's what we're doing here. So if you like it, stick around and watch us again, and go watch the other episodes on YouTube because it's good times. Yeah.
Have fun, vibe, get traumatized.
Get traumatized. Beautiful. Alrighty. That being said, we shall return the rest that you all take is thankfully uneventful. You are resting indoors in, albeit simple, but accommodations of some type. It's strange that after this whole journey, you're now getting back to a feeling that you all have had before of moving from place to place, staying at an inn before going to another spot on the globe. And your rest is peaceful. There is no dinosaurs waking you up in the middle of the night. There's no apocalypse monster chasing you out of the entire dimension. There's no criminal mastermind prying into your very thoughts. There's just rest. I'll check in with our party here. With a uninterrupted rest, yes, there are things that you have to do, but it's been a couple of dimensions since you've gone to bed thinking, I have to wake up and get right back to whatever we were doing. What does Xanthi dream about, and how does Xanthi wake up?
Highs or lows?
Are you asking me to pick what you're going to bet on what you're rolling?
Yes, because it's usually two things.
I'm betting high.
Okay.
I don't know if that means that a good thing or a bad thing is going to happen.
Okay, that's a 12, so that is high.
That's above 10.
Yeah, so I think for the first time, Xanthi isn't exactly having nightmares. she still dreams about the labs, but I think it would be, for the first time in forever, having like an actual peaceful sleep in somewhat of a bed. Xanthi would kind of, I think she would just kind of remember feeling the cold concrete on her back as she sits next to a small crack in the wall, having a very pleasant conversation with someone on the other side. And I would say she probably would be muttering in her sleep.
Ooh. That could be spicy.
A lot of it's just kind of very basic things like, we're gonna get out of here one day, or just casual conversation. But if there is one name that is mentioned, and it is Rem.
And from this rest, how does Xanthi wake up?
I would say she actually, for once, she doesn't wake up in a panic. She opens her eyes, kind of looks up at the ceiling, and almost like a very sad sigh, I think, would come from her as she kind of just thinks over, like, for a second, she goes, I haven't thought about them in a while. And she is going to kind of roll out of bed and probably just look around, head count.
Head count goes as expected. Fayruz wasn't with you, so taking that into account, the head count is correct. Borrow. Same question.
Borrow. With everything that has happened, Borrow finds himself dreaming of the elemental plane of air and that golden thread that seemed to appear. What? Silver?
Silver.
Sorry, silver. That silver thread that seemed to manifest in his sensorial abilities. But it's almost as if that's the visual art of an audio book, if you will. And through this silver thread and the vibrations of what he perceives in his mind, he actually dreams about his master from back in the monastery. And there's just a combination of things where he's hearing the again, and he hears his own breath just going through motions and through practices, and then that sort of deludes to children's laughter, and you can't find me as he hears his brother's voice, and that then transitions to the Hadosi Ogre.
Ugri.
Ogre's voice talking about the choices to make. And all of that sort of combines itself. And then the last thing he feels in his dream are the figurines. And it's after that that he wakes up, finding himself realizing that one of his hands was already moving as if his fingers were tracing the figurine that's not there. Considering the fact that he usually wakes up before the rest of the party, by the time that the party would wake up, unlike most days where he's doing his training outside, he's actually sitting with Riley Petrichor laying down next to them. He actually is using mending on the book.
I was wondering when that was going to happen. So, sorry, I'm trying to gauge how fast KJ is typing. Because I will be letting you all know what the literal child of the apocalypse is dreaming of.
Love it. We love it.
So, with that, knowing that some things are still hidden about our guests, I will ask, though, how the pair of you wake up and what's on your mind. All right, roll Ace. We're going to find out who goes first. Since you're both being too polite. I know you guys ain't from America, but I didn't think you both were from Canada.
Just a D20 then.
Yeah. D20. Oh, that's an 18.
That's a 2.
Yeah, you can choose. Are you going first or is Ren going first?
You go first, Ren.
I mean, the thing about Janai is Janai didn't sleep. So Janai was active during the evening, accomplishing those chores that they were asked to do at the time when no one is around to see them do it. Well, not many people are around to see them. There are still monks awake. There's always monks everywhere. But once that's accomplished, they'll get a night flight in or two. And I got 25 for stealth, so Janai's gonna wait.
Okay. Janai waits. Alrighty.
The fire does sleep, and in fact she sleeps quite comfortably inside her bottle, nestled among velvet pillows. Thank you very much. She dreams that she is inside a cavern with glowing gems growing from the walls. On the floor, on the ceiling, walking past them, she sort of sees her reflection. It's not so often that she dreams of being underground, cut away from the sky, per se, but it does happen. And it's one of those dreams where you think you're in one place and then your mind drifts and then suddenly you're in another. And the next thing she knows, she's inside a library, looking over a pedestal that has a book, her book, a spell book that has the Moss Agate gem inlaid in the center. Like she's trying to research, find clues, but she can't quite read the letters on the page. You never can in dreams, you see. But she's also aware that in the corner of her eye, there's an hourglass of black sand slowly trickling. It's about 3/4 full now. And she's sort of muttering to herself, working on it, working on it. And then she looks up. And then she goes to feed us on it.
All right. You wake up, you get Aslani ready for the day, as you do. Not quite getting ready to leave just yet, but getting ready to get ready to leave, as it were. Everybody awakes, and what is our first order of business?
Were we wanting to speak to Master Zarek before we depart anywhere? For your feathered friend's sake?
Yes. I believe we can attempt to gather information in various fronts and then reconvene. I don't think Master Zarek would be too eager to share information with me, but perhaps someone who is not considered an associate might be more amicable. I can also have Clucky attempt to speak to the children. And I also have an idea to perhaps speak to the dwarf at the monastery. If they are savvy with their stone, as some of the others I have met in the past, perhaps they can give us some insight on the mural.
I'm happy to speak to Master Zarek. What's the worst he's gonna do? Kick me out? I'll just come back.
Very well.
Did you wish to speak to the dwarves first, perhaps? I'm not too sure what their daily schedules would be. Catch them before they're too busy.
I suppose we can head there and see what presents itself first.
Okay. Before we leave, a little insight into the mind of the party's child. As dictated from KJ, aka the best of us, in the mind realm that Riley and Petrichor coexist in, often it means that they don't dream, but rather have conversations with each other face to face. But tonight is different. Tonight, Riley's memories take their turn in weaving a tale for the two. They both watch from almost a cinematic view, the two children running over rooftops, both figures giggling as they jump from roof to roof. A man's voice rings out from below, "Hey, time for dinner, you two." And we watch the two slide down drain pipes and land on the ground. The taller of the two, a boy of about 12 years old, turns first, yelling over his shoulder for the smaller to catch up. The second figure turns, and it's Riley, wearing a handmade shirt and shorts, calling after him to slow down. The two turn into a fenced yard overgrown with plants and burst through an open door. The camera shows a man and woman setting a table as the two children jump into their seats, giggling uncontrollably. The camera slowly zooms out of the dining room window as conversation starts and slowly fades. And in the waking world, a tear or two trickles down their sleeping face in the night.
Aww. Poor baby.
There would have been a moment or two where Bara probably would have very gently wiped the tear and cupped the cheek before just letting them continue resting.
Y'all are adorable.
I swear it's like he's written by a woman.
I'll take it.
I mean that in the highest regard.
I'll take it. I absolutely take it.
Like any man that uses the term caress is just makes the brain go brr. Please don't choke, Victor.
Oh,
Not the right time to drink water.
Let me just take a note. Caress. Add to the vocabulary. Alrighty. So, we make for the township of Oasia, and I believe that we are looking for a certain dwarf who you were told was named Effer, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. Not a difficult thing to accomplish. However, nonetheless, let's get a perception check from those who are here.
That's an
This isn't
18.
exactly a pass-fail kind of deal. It's going to be a who notices.
You said perception?
Yeah.
Alright, that is an 18 plus 1. That's a 25.
22.
Working class 25.
25, 22. We have, I think, 2 18s. Alrighty. I believe that goes to Xanthi. So,
Paranoid bitch at the ready.
as you are, as you are looking around, you know that you are looking for a dwarf. Not too many of the stout folk in this area, so when you do find one, it sticks out to you. This individual, it is on your way to the monastery that you do find him. There is a sort of surrounding wall / fence kind of deal that is made primarily of stone that he is using a trowel to patch.
I will say, upon exiting the inn, Xanthi would have extracted her wings again to keep her back covered. And she, upon spotting this guy just patching up a wall, she's going to kind of look around, take notice that there really is not any other dwarves around. She is just going to walk right up and go, "Excuse me, is your name Effing?"
He turns, this dwarf that has silver hair, dark hazel eyes, and a couple of unusual scars, and looks up at you kind of with a raised eyebrow. Affer, I believe, is what you're trying to...
Effer, I'm so sorry. My bad. Xanthi just kind of goes, I am so sorry. I am terrible with names.
It's no. May I help you?
She's immediately just, "Borrow! I think I found him." You're not. We mean no harm. We just need to ask you a few things.
Okay.
Borrow approaches with a polite smile and nods to the dwarf. "Apologies for the distraction, Master Dwarf. I was wondering if you may have any skill when it comes to stone and masonry."
Speaking of distractions,
skill in stonework? Of course, I'm a dwarf. Hi, it's me, guys. Hello. Jimmy Cluckerson has arrived. Sorry for the delay.
you're absolutely fine, and I will not take it out on you when this conversation is concluded.
Who's that?
Just kidding, buddy. But yeah, he kind of, the dwarf that you're talking to looks up, trowel in hand, and just kind of goes, I mean, I can get the job done. What do you need doing?
Well, it was more about what you may perhaps have as knowledge. You see, we stumbled upon the mural, the one with the Arakokra, the one that looks
Picture of me.
very much like. And then Bara's, Clucky interrupts. He just gestures
Kinda.
as.
He looks past Barrow at Clucky and just kind of like squints. He goes, yeah, they do be looking a little bit like you. All right. So, is there a crack or a hole needs patching?
No, I was wondering perhaps if you would maybe have any knowledge as to the origin of the mirror itself, and whether or not there is a location that it may have come from.
He just kind of thinks about it for a moment, and he goes, well, when we were trying to get the city or the township together for Oasia here, a couple 100 years ago, they decided that they were gonna try to bring some more stone up rather than try to work some, and they got one of them there flying machines and went down to the surface and brought up a few pieces. I think that's where that chunk of wall do be coming from. Yeah, it wasn't up here to begin with, but we got her up there. We got it in place, and it ain't gonna move now.
And was that the only piece from that location that was retrieved?
I think a couple other pieces came from there, but that was the biggest and the most intact, and none of the other ones really had. Well, some people call that graffiti, but yeah, no, it was just looked nice, so we put it up there.
I see. And would the location where it was, if we were to ask for someone to guide us to it, would they be able to bring us there?
Ooh, I don't quite know. I mean, maybe it'd be a long trek through the air. I don't know if anybody can make a journey like that, but going down over the sands is a little difficult. It's up north. It's past where them there Thrycreen live.
If you don't mind my asking, there's a big portion of this wall missing. By chance, do you have any idea what it looked like originally before it lost it, or was it lost during the transfer?
We found it like that. We tried looking around for it. There was some smashed bits, but couldn't really piece it together, and it took too much time. I mean, nowadays I probably could patch it up. I could patch up pretty much anything, but at the time it was just a bunch of rocks. This was on its side, and you can see where it was, but no, I ain't never seen the whole picture all together.
I'm guessing there's no library or anything that would even have a depiction of what it originally was.
Not that I'm aware of.
It was worth asking.
Yeah, no problem. Anything else I can help you kids with?
Sir DM,
yeah.
in the main dimension, how likely would it have been for Baro to ever meet a Trichian?
Almost non-existent. You probably would have heard of them, but they're in the Prime Dimension. They come from a land very far to the south that is known only as the Wastes, and that is because primarily anybody who ever goes there doesn't really come back, or if they do, they tell other people not to go there because it's the most inhospitable piece of land that there is, and it's not even fully explored. But it is where the orcs hail from. It is where the goblin tribes hail from. It is where some of the, as some people would call them, the more monstrous races would be from. But there's a lot of tales of what could be down there, and none of them are good.
Sir DM, how snackable is a Thrycreen to Clucky in the Prime Dimension?
I mean, Clucky would eat just about anything. We've talked about this. Chickens are omnivores.
Yeah.
What are these creatures? These trichians or
Insectoid.
Mm-hmm.
smash?
Oh my god.
So even though he wouldn't have met them, would it be? Would he at least from like the stories or the written thing, he would know the basics of them as a race?
Kind of. Yeah, I mean, you know that they were insect-like humanoids. They are bipedal, but they have forearms. I mean, other than that, pretty much rumor.
I guess Bar would ask. Anything that you can tell me about the Trichian that live up north?
Oh, they're pretty territorial. They don't really like people coming in, even just to pass through. They'll try and chase you out of there right away. It's you know, not really the basis for negotiation either. Really, they yeah. I mean, pretty much we just stay away from there. There's no real reason to do anything up there anyway.
Other than take pieces of stone to bring up here.
Yeah, well, that was before they moved in. They only moved in there probably in the last first reports started coming back 80-ish years ago, something like that. They were expanding a bit, looking for probably more resources or something. You see, they live primarily subterranean, you know, down below the sands. There's apparently a whole network of tunnels down there from the before times too. But I guess they didn't. They weren't the first ones down there. But hey, we only stories from those who were old at the time that I was young. You know.
Of course. I am grateful for your generosity with the information, Master Dwarf.
Yeah, absolutely. No problem. Sure, nothing else I can give you a hand with?
You've worked at the monastery for a long time?
Oh, I don't work for the monastery. I just live here, and like I said, if there's wall needs patching, I'm the one to do it. Always count on old Effer.
Sorry, give me 1 second. There's something I want to.
The best wall fixing mother effer ever.
Mother Effer. That's the right one. That's how I got my name. Took it right. I'm Effer Jr. Making up the lore
It's
on the
almost
spot.
as bad as the cider.
In the time that you have assisted the monastery, did you ever meet someone by the name of Landros?
Landros. Can't say that one rings a bell. Nice older name, didn't it? Go ahead.
It's an 11 plus 7 for an 18. I think it's 7, or is it? Hold on, let me double check. Yeah, plus 7, 18.
Ooh, somebody getting a PM. Ooh!
No.
I don't get secrets.
Deny the suspicion right now. Different thing that we're gonna get to momentarily. Don't y'all worry.
Snacks.
Smash.
Yeah, no. Insight check 18 on Affer. Seems genuine. Seems like he's just trying to give you the answers to your questions. Let you know what you need to know, and see if there's any other way that he can help you.
You sure about that, DM?
You sure about that? You sure about that? You sure about that? I'm sure.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Hold on.
Laura just nods and thanks the dwarf. And just sort of... May the wind keep you, Master Dwarf.
Right, and also with you.
This is the way.
They chip and shatter.
And with that, Borrow, there's a tug on your sleeve.
There's a tug on my sleeve. Okay.
Oh boy.
As the child who woke up today as Petrichor gets your attention and tells you, I'm not going to try to do a Petrichor voice, says, I think I might have a way to learn more about that mosaic, but we need to go back over there.
Ooh, somebody's got the legend spell or lore spell.
And we shall try it.
All right. So
I like it.
this scene of going back to the mosaic really quick. Got it right here. This is me putting a pin in it. Tarzan.
Hi, awesome me. Hello.
Thank you for joining us. To bring you up to speed, the party tried to discuss a little bit about what they could find about your mosaic and how best to try to figure a few things out about it. Talks came up of talking with the Aarakocras that the party has met, being Master Xeric and also the children that you played tag with. But given the time of day, everybody retired to an inn and went to sleep, and you got full bellies, and you actually slept for the first time in accommodations of any kind, other than just in pillow or sleeping on pillows in Soul's basement, or sleeping out in the wilderness, or in a cave, or in a house that just so happened to be empty because that's what you could find in the sand pit. You actually slept. You had your choice of either sleeping on the floor in a room, on a mat, or in a hammock, because as the floating island that you're on shifts around, sleeping on a bed, not the best idea because you might fall out. So, with that, with that, we had a very nice rest. And with that, what did Clucky dream about?
What would Clucky dream about? I would say seeing his kind in a more frequent, seeing his kind outside of a reflective surface, kind of brings back a sense of home. Back before when he was a chicken, surrounded by his coop sisters and brothers and whatnot. But this time it gives him this dream is more modernized of home. Instead of a bunch of little farm chickens running around, it's brothers and sisters as Aarakocra. And it gives him a sense of belonging in the moment. Somebody that he can finally relate to after growing up 4 years, unable to talk to his brothers and sisters, or even the farmer, not being able to communicate with somebody effectively. It was a very isolating childhood, and I would say that seeing all these Aarakocra running around, that would jog and reshape his memory of home to what it could have been had he grew up with other Aarakocra like him. So he's just reliving a life of what life would have been like as Clucky on a farm with other Aarakocra. And that's what it's just that scene playing out over in his dream over and over and over again.
And from this scene, how does Clucky wake up?
That's a good point. I think this would have given a level of serenity that this is probably going to be the first time that Clucky's not one of the earliest people to rise and scream, "Wake the fuck up," first thing in the morning. This is probably the first time he wakes up, probably like one of the last people to wake up this time. Especially given the accommodations that they found themselves in. He still would have had some level of, prior to going to bed, some level of self-awareness to like position himself between doors and the child's bedroom and the rest of the party, but it's yeah, he wouldn't sleep in a bed because it's not what he's used to. But yeah, he would definitely be the last person to wake up today.
Noted. I like it. Alrighty. So with that, you then went with the party. We had this conversation, and now we are all going back to the mural, the mosaic, as it were. Because the child has an idea.
Ooh.
We return to the scene. It's early morning. The children are not quite playing in this area yet. They still have things to do in the morning time. It's just people passing by here and there, but there is the small little area and the wall with this wonderful, mysterious mosaic. Almost right on time, KJ has messaged me. It is a 10-minute ritual process where they will sit crisscross in front of the wall, setting 2 sticks of incense on either side of them, lit and smoking, and pulls 4 strips of ivory from a small pouch, gently laying them one next to the other very precisely. There is no praying or incantation, but rather a light humming. And at the end of this time, this is where Matt is going to take a moment just so that he does not misremember exactly what Legend Lore does. For that is the spell in question. D&D Beyond.
I would say past time, Plucky would have approached Janai and tried to teach them how to play tag that the way he just learned it from the children the day prior. Hi, let's play. We got like 10 minutes to kill. I don't know how much time that actually is, but let's do something. I can't sit here and do nothing. Yep, Plucky wants to play. He wants to play with his new friend.
I appreciate your enthusiasm, which Janai just appeared. Janai's been following y'all for a while. Clucky, I appreciate your enthusiasm and excitement. Tag involves contact, and I don't want to be touched.
Borrow interjects and just goes to Clucky, places a hand on Clucky's shoulder as he says, "Actually, Clucky, we could maybe use some help from the Arakokra children, as they may know more about the stories behind the mural, and since they seem to like you."
He bolts as soon as before he even finishes the sentence.
Is that moment of like Borrow talking and like the camera is behind Clucky and suddenly you just see the smoke just going phew, and Borrow just has like mid-sentence but he smiles like, I knew that was
Yep. Gone.
I would say while the time's passing, Xanthi's kind of off to the side. She seems a bit kind of preoccupied as she's just kind of like drawing draconic symbols into the sand.
And you summon forth the Tarask. Anyway.
And we all
don't play it. Don't play it.
Hey, she didn't sit there and go, so we're fine.
Remember the Tarask from the Tucson dimension? You just summoned it. Congratulations.
That actually did come about from a ritual that Xanthi was a part of. Anyway.
Yay!
Quit playing.
It's all fun and games here.
Actually, oh, hang on. This might be.
So wiggly.
Sorry, I need clarification on something really quick. So we'll do this really quick. Clucky, give me a perception check.
I'm decent at those. I'm really decent at those. That's a 19 for plus 6, so 25.
Smash.
Clucky is excited.
I'll say at this point, so again, you don't see any kids like running around quite yet. It's still a little early, but given that you rolled so high, you do see through a window at a table where there is a family of Aarakocra having breakfast.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
Clucky's not one to barge into homes.
I was
Typically.
hoping not. I didn't think so,
No.
but I would. open.
He's not one to normally break into homes. He knows he understands boundaries. When you tell him that you have those boundaries. So instead of following his desire to just play with any kids nearby, he just ends up perching on a tree that allows him to see into the window, hopefully to try and catch the kids' attention from a distance. To like, hey, that sounds weird.
Yeah. It's not like he's a creepy old man.
Disclosure to all the viewers: Clucky is 4 years old. He just wants to play with other kids his age. So
Very buff child.
Just imagine Tarzan as a 4-year-old and wants to play with other children, please. Because the way that I have to structure this line of thought sounds fucking weird. I'm sorry.
Tarzan, just put the shovel down. Just put the shovel down.
This isn't the first time that having to describe something via Clucky has crossed us into a very sketchy territory.
Don't even talk about the time where he said the blind man touched him and made him feel better.
Wow. Oh my god.
We said don't talk about it.
But basically, not only is he does he want to play with the kids, but he's also seeing what a family structure looks like in an Aarakocra setting. So that also is very interesting to him. So he's just observing from a distance and hopefully gets noticed by whoever. No one in particular.
All right. While this is happening, given that this spell is giving information directly to Petrichor, this is me confirming Petrichor is in the chat. Okay, there we go. It wasn't in response to what I was saying, but KJ did just say something in chat. So, as Petrichor casts the spell, looking for information on the wall and the mosaic that is depicted upon it, wants to know about why it was made and what the story that is painted here is about. And this spell is very subjective in how it can be resolved. Could be a very encyclopedic telling of, this is a vorpal sword and it does blah, blah, blah. Or it could be, just a vision like they've had previously when trying to use it on the sun sword from the last dimension. In this case, Petrichor, looking at the mosaic on this wall, sees this painting, or this mosaic, slowly getting painted, and hears a voice in their head of an individual, and that voice, I'm going to paint the greatest story that I have ever heard. Tale of a great hero, clad in white feathers, strong with a belt that gave him even more powerful strength. One who was adored, maybe even worshipped by the people that he saved from a calamity so great that nobody could look up at the sky and not feel terror. But this hero proved that anybody can save the world. Anybody can be a god in their own right. And with that, the painting in Petrichor's vision becomes completed. And I can't say out loud what the rest is, because that would be too easy.
How dare? How dare?
You
Hide.
literally build it up, and then you're like,
How dare you hide Clucky lore that even Clucky don't know?
the rest of the party just blood sacrifice on top of the mountain.
Yeah.
The child sees the rest of the painting. God damn it.
So,
God damn it.
roleplay amongst yourselves for a moment.
I had
Actually, I will just say KJ's absolutely right. It's me.
Xanthi would still be off to the side, just kind of in her own head, just scrolling in the sand.
The Pharaohs is going to move towards Janai and with her. I had an idea. Don't give me that look. I had an idea. Since we have questions that have yet to be answered, and more than one at present. Your monastery archives, would they not have a list of historical students that once resided in the monastery? If the blind one is searching for a possible relation, the name that he mentioned to us that we could not recall, perhaps it's documented elsewhere.
Perhaps. There would be records.
Mm-hmm.
You're making me go to the library.
I am. Isn't that fun?
Decidedly not, but it could be interesting.
Better you than any of us. I don't think they would be allowed much further, in all honesty.
It's
At
quite
least you won't get
possible
kicked out immediately.
I won't. It's possible that asking that question will raise more questions. Still, I suppose I could try. Janai will glance at Barrow and then peel off towards the archive.
If there are books, we may as well make use of them.
All I did was look at you, Barrow.
Barrow senses the bombastic side eye.
It was very much a one-sided conversation because whoever was nearby could probably hear Feyre's like speaking out loud, but I was responding telepathically.
Understand Victor's face. Oh my god.
I'm debating whether or not Barrow senses that look on him.
Perception.
With a 17 perception. Actually, no. Sorry, I'm lying. 26. I forgot to add what I actually have in perception to the roll.
I need you to calm down there, bud.
Let's see.
Never.
Oh, no, there's no way.
Apologies, we're almost there.
Painting a word picture.
Painting a picture with words. What was Barrow looking for again, Victor?
That's okay. I mean, he's not like nothing's gonna happen. It's just
Okay.
he notices the look.
Yeah, the look. Yeah.
And, kind of probably senses that
Cool.
he notices as you depart.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say that probably as that happens, Barrow actually approaches Fairuz. And he just, apologies, I know that you perhaps have already given this information more clearly to my friends as you met them before. But I suppose I was meaning to ask, what is it that you are after, ultimately?
Oh, well, at the moment I'm searching for a certain, what's the word? A certain set of old ruins that unfortunately lie an uncomfortably deep distance into the desert to be traversing alone. So since your party came so fortuitously on my doorstep, we decided that in return for showing them the monastery and with the hopes of it locating you, which we did, and assisting you in your magical charging of whatever relic it was that brought you here, they would assist me. And Oscott. I've asked Janai to, Janai has agreed, so the more the merrier.
Isibara has him, he's just listening to you with this sort of friendly, kind face, and is sort of slightly nodding. And it's just silent for a second. And how are you?
How am I?
Yes.
I'm quite well, thank you. I had a very good night's sleep. I hope the accommodation was to your comfort as well.
It was certainly nice to rest in a more peaceful mind.
Do you have a troubled one often? I know your other friend does, and she just nods towards Amphi. She's mentioned it a few times.
Our journey has been quite challenging from time to time. It's not often that we get to actually sleep indoors in a place meant for rest. Do you Theras?
Alright.
Will you betray us?
To what end? There's no one to betray you to.
I do not know what you are truly after, so I have but to ask.
I can only search for what is yet beyond my grasp. I don't see betrayal in that future.
Man, if Clucky was there and heard this talk, you wouldn't know what to make of it.
Trust me, I am not seeking to judge by asking the question.
Of course.
I truly hope that you find what you're looking for and we can assist. I will be glad to have assisted someone who assisted my friend.
Such is the way the world should work.
And so the wind wills it.
As you say that, you just hear like a brush of wind past you, along with the chime of bells. You get the impression that Varys is smiling.
You get a smile back. He doesn't say anything else. He just taps his staff a couple of times. Does a little tap, which is the thing that he does very often. And gives you a nod as he turns around and goes back to check on Petrichor.
What perfect timing. Because as directed from KJ, thank you very much for playing behind the scenes like this, because the internet issues very much so appreciate you still being here. Petrichor is basically blindly waving to get everyone's attention as they are drawing in the dirt. And when people come over, again, I'm not going to try to do a Petrichor voice. They describe pretty much what they were told. That somebody drew this based off of, like, the greatest story they've ever heard. And how they said that Clucky was a hero and that he saved a lot of people from something terrible. And they didn't say what it was, but it looked like this. And they point to what they were drawing, which I had them roll a performance check and they got a 17, so accurately looks like some kind of
beholder,
winged insect. And as they're, pointing at it and everybody's kind of seeing what it is, they just go on to say, I don't know, some kind of big bug.
Which insect? Do I know what they've just drawn?
Give me a nature check.
$14. It's a bug.
Only Clucky was there because I rolled a natural 20.
It will eventually.
It looks like some kind of beetle-ish thing.
Beetle? A rhinoceros beetle?
Not something we've seen previously.
I mean, if it was something that, like, was quote-unquote normal size, you've probably seen something like it, but it's just a bug. So the fact that they just said it was a big bug, you can just picture how big one of these might get.
When Barrow hears that what is being drawn is like a bug with wings, and people seem to be looking to try to see if they recognize it, he just, without looking, he just, Janai, anything that you may know?
As they're putting in eye drops.
I know. That's the problem with Barrow. He's not looking, so it's like, I completely was looking away as I decided to start, and I look back and I'm like, oh no, my timing.
I'm just going to put it out there. This legend started out as Clucky going into somebody's house and killing a bug for the wife or something like that. That's exactly what it is.
A giant slipper is like held above his head.
It's a chocolate.
The greatest weapon of them all.
Just look like I'm crying now. Janai hasn't gotten too far, so sorry. So when Baro asks them, they'll come back, look at the drawing. Do I know anything about this bug?
Give me a nature check.
Not my strong suit. Okay. Really not my strong suit. That's a 4.
That is indeed a bug. It's very bug-like and has certain bug-like qualities, and appears to be kind of buggy.
Buggy.
Are there any other details that are drawn in, like any markings, runes, anything like that?
Nope.
Nope. We are not sponsored by Cheez-Its.
Baro will point to, he'll just mention to Petrichor, if you can, maybe finding the opportunity to draw this on a parchment might be useful. Share it with others who may know more.
Hold on, I think Xanthi might have parchment.
I know that you're still looking for it to be drawn on parchment, but message from KJ, Petrichor would take the time to try to draw it in Baro's hand so he could visualize it.
He would take that into account. I guess I'm going to do a nature check.
Okie dokie.
Wow. 19.
19. As I've kind of said, insect, some kind of reminiscent of some kind of beetle. More so in the range of like a scarab, like a vision I have in my head. I know that they go by a million different names depending on what region you're in. In my region of the world, they call them June bugs. I don't know what everybody else would call them.
June bugs.
Yeah.
Fuckers are annoying.
They
My area
really
of the
are.
world, they call them February bugs.
Of course.
I was hoping you were about to say it was a cicada.
Okay.
But
It is a beetle in the family of Scarabaeidae, but it is commonly known as the green June beetle. There you go.
look at all that. It's almost like I know things. Almost. Sometimes I'm just a really good guesser.
I mean, I'm gonna say also though, even with that role, Baro's time with sight was not long. So like he probably would recognize the shape as like a bug from his region where he lived. That he could maybe like be able to say like, seems to me like a June bug or the equivalent of what a June bug name would be in his region.
But that would be about it. Yeah. I mean, that's about all that he can pretty much get from it. It's a bug, and you're being told that it's a big bug.
Fuck, he's eaten one or two of those once in his life at least.
Xanthi's just looking at this thing and she just kind of shudders. Just, ugh.
It's a big snack for Clucky.
I wonder. The dwarf said the stone was brought here from a place in the north. Before the Trican became the locals. I wonder if there may be a connection.
Well, do you want to go and ask the Trican that are, very well known for chasing away anybody on their territory?
I'll be curious to doing that, but
Oh, dear God.
I'm afraid that we must also put restraint into how much deeper we dig into this before we remind ourselves that we have new allies that are counting on us as well. And he nods towards Pharaohs and Janai.
Well, they did mention, the dwarf said, and I'm vaguely just recalling this math, that these stones did come from a place near where the Rycrane inhabited around that area, a bit further north. And coincidentally, the magical tower or records of that, which was mentioned to perhaps be an apt magical fuel source for your little dilemma transporting you home, is also towards that direction. And on top of that, the temple that I'm looking for appears to be through that direction. So it seems that all roads are quite literally pointing north at this rate. Make of it what you will.
That's a good point.
It seems as though the path ahead is clear. Almost
The
as
wind
if
is very strong.
Indeed. It's almost as if the wind had a master of games weaving the tale that we are in.
That's good. I should write that down.
Yeah, write it down. Take it. You can have it.
Okay.
All roads are pointing north. Perhaps this was meant to be.
Indeed.
So, are we still checking the archives, as it were?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I'd say while
And
that's
that is-
happening, Bar will probably suggest for Xanthi and Petrichor to us to go find Clucky. If we still have, I don't know if we still have the earpieces, but
Xanthi will probably call him in the earpiece, but she's also going to take to the skies just to kind of take a glance around to see if she sees Clucky anywhere.
Okay. We'll come back to that. So Janai is heading up the talk of the archives, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How shall we go about this?
I mean, how complicated would it be to just... Well, I don't even know what time period we're looking at, to be honest. The age of the stone is before the last 80 years, at least. So, Janai would probably seek up.
For the record,
yeah.
According to Afer, they found the stone some 80 years ago.
Yeah.
And the mosaic was already on it when they found it. Okay.
No, the way that Janai is thinking is, if they found this, they don't need to. If the time period that Barrow's possible relation is potentially around when this mural was made, then we don't need to look at the past 80 years. So we just go before that. Could be wrong, but it's a place to start. Before 80 and after 80.
Okay. Alrighty. Being a novice, finding the archives of all the written word that would take place here, or any sort of records, that area isn't like restricted or anything, but you would have to ask for records of like who has attended the monastery and stuff like that. So you can find a tabaxi monk who you know that they are the lead archivist, and you can try to ask them for a little point in the right direction and permission.
Yep, I think Janai will doing his best to look solemn, quite serious. Greetings to you on this day. I have a request, if I may be so bold.
Yes, how may I help you?
There are some new folk around the monastery. One of them has spoken to Master Ugri in the past day, and I believe he is seeking to find if one of his family members had been here at some point.
Interesting. Who would we be looking for, and how recently?
I don't think very recently. It was someone by the name of Landros. Or
Oh, I didn't like that.
Roll an insight check for me.
Sure.
It's getting saucy.
Can't even find my character sheet.
Go, Janai, go.
19.
Delicious.
When you say that name, he takes a deep breath and just, nobody at this monastery ever by that name. Good day to you, and starts to walk away.
What, do I know this tabaxi's name?
He is a tabaxi that goes by the name of Fallen Maple Seed.
Hippies.
Maple Seed.
Oh,
That's
quaint.
how tabaxi are named.
Master Maple Seed, wait, please. I don't mean to be rude. I don't mean to offend.
Then don't.
Spicy.
Meow! Kitty's got claws.
Is
Just
it?
a boxing ring.
Scratch me between the ears.
Is it possible then that I might have a look myself then?
It's that, this entire time he's been like kind of shuffling through scrolls or like moving books, and as he's like, carrying a couple to the next spot, and you stop him saying, well, can I take a look myself? He kind of exasperatedly puts them down on the table and walks back over to you, and now responds to you mentally and says, Janai, drop this issue or I will have to inform Master Zarek.
Ooh.
Tell your friends to leave it alone.
We ain't gonna leave alone.
Spicy.
I don't think this has ever happened. Janai is caught off guard, taken aback. It's like, I see. Right. I will inform them that no one by this name has attended here.
Thank you. As the wind guides us and turns and walks away.
Janai is going to leave the archive and see the others from a distance. It doesn't matter how far away they are because Janai will connect to them. You're like, something is very wrong.
Well, yes, you went to a library.
No. Yes,
Can
that
we
is wrong.
mentally back?
Also. 1 second. I don't think. Yes, you can because of what I just used
All
to
right,
reach you from a distance.
Xanthi would immediately just be like, "Are you in trouble?"
I am not. Not yet.
So what's the problem?
The name. The name.
Landros.
What does it mean? What does it mean?
Trouble with a capital T.
Landros
Yes?
is... Landros, according to the archivist, has never attended here. But the tone that carries across is clearly like some fucked up secret is being kept
Barrow's
from me.
already walking.
Xanthi would be following behind Barrow, but she would also respond. And hearing that tone is just, so he flat out lied to you, is what you're trying to tell us.
He didn't lie. He told them the answer and was very adamant that that was the answer.
Well, we weren't told that. Xanthi's not good with social cues.
I asked a question, and that's what I was told, and it was not true.
Ooh.
So that in itself is quite telling of her trying to conceal whatever it may be about this person. Perhaps he has gotten into trouble before.
I hate secrets.
Where are you, Jenny?
I'm outside the archive.
Barrow is briskly and very intentionally making his way.
Okay.
Make my way downtown.
Actually, Xanthi is not following Barrow. She is currently still trying to find Clucky. Forgot about that.
I will follow
Walking
her.
fast. Faces past and I'm homebound.
Brock, brock, brock.
I do think, narratively speaking, it'd be better if we did turn our attention that way. Xanthi, give me a perception check.
I'm good at those.
That's what they all say.
That's a 3. Plus 7.
So
For
that's a 10. Just because it is narratively appropriate based off of what Clucky was doing, Clucky, roll a stealth check.
Ooh. Not good at those.
Giggle.
I'm still not good at those. That's 3 plus 3 for 6. Wait, did I still beat you? Yeah, I still beat her.
Okay.
Yeah, you rolled a 3.
3
Got
plus
into
7 for.
Oh.
So
So
7, 8,
here,
for a 10.
here
So
is
she's
the
a
thing
10.
though. Here's the thing though. Tarzan is trying to hide, but like get a good look at the Aarakocra children. So that is where the hide is directed. Therefore, even though he's hiding, Xanthi isn't the person he's hiding from. So I would be treating Clucky's stealth as 5 lower, as if he had disadvantage.
So Xanthi
So-
just sees his tail feathers out of the tree.
Yeah, like he's hiding behind a tree, but from your perspective, it's very obvious that that is Clucky just chilling by that tree.
She will kind of not really knowing what he's doing and just
He's
kind of-
Shaq hiding behind a street sign.
But Xanthi will use the earpiece and go, Clucky, come on, we gotta go. There's apparently some secrets going around in this monastery. We might need someone scary to help, some information.
Is this the right voices in my head again? I don't know what's going on.
Clucky, it's Xanthi.
Oh.
Look above you, buddy.
Oh shit, there you are.
She waves and she motions for him to follow her, and she goes, "We got secrets to figure out, and you might need to shake down some folks. Let's go."
But I found out the hatchlings.
Clucky, we can play with the hatchlings later.
Okay, are you responding out loud?
Jedi for 6 hours, by the way.
So, at that point, yeah, he's yelling.
So when you look back, like, in that moment of like, but, and when you look back, two of the children are in the window waving in your direction. Just like,
hi, it's me again. Hey, the painting guy.
Clucky, come on, we gotta go, buddy.
Yeah. I'll be back. Bye.
And with that, Xanthi will lead Clucky and be flying overhead of Barrow and the rest of the party.
You say that like Clucky's flying speed is not faster than Xanthi's.
Oh, I know.
Clucky's breaking the sound barrier.
Clucky, we're going this way. All right.
It's just like, and then this goes to Xanthi, come sailing like a ballerina. Just.
Burn through the ditches and burn through the witches.
It's just like chicken metal in the background.
Oh my god.
All right. The party assembles like the Avengers outside of this monastery.
Superhero
Walking
pose.
up with, and it is a very epic scene of Xanthi and Clucky flying in very cinematically over each of Barrow's shoulders as he walks up, with Feyruz next to him on one side, and then Petrichor, quote, waddling next to Barrow on the other.
Waddle, waddle, waddle.
KJ messaged me, Petrichor waddles next to Barrow, and I responded with the gif from that which you just quoted.
Got me grapes.
We have one brain cell.
We're all sharing it.
My turn.
No.
No, I think Barrow's gonna need it. Anyway. Yeah, you all descend upon the monastery, and shortly afterwards you see Janai outside of the archives.
Hello, friend. We're back.
Borrow does not stop. Borrow has been in this temple, even though it's not this version. He knows where it is. He's going past Janai, and he's walking directly to whoever is going to be in the archives.
Oh, fuck.
Okay.
He's angry. Xanthi's following.
It's not the archivist that you know, but you can tell this is the person that you're looking for.
We still have a mental communication as a group currently, correct? 6 hours or something like that?
6 hours.
Yeah. I would like to ask everyone, no violence, please.
Xanthi will just kind of, in her head, she goes, I'll do my best.
If things change, so be it. But please understand, this monastery stands for more than what single individuals may be protecting or concealing. Do it for me.
Look, I am one for arson. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not one for burning down monasteries. You have my word.
I don't think you can burn stone. I tried.
If you're angry enough, trust me, you can burn anything, Clucky.
Oh God. Hearing
Boris...
this exchange, Janai is just reconsidering everything.
Bara is going to walk into the archive. He's going to walk to the tabaxi. Real close. And he's going to stop and just sort of stand there. Just like arm's reach. And he's going to wait for the tabaxi to look at him, for him to perceive or try to sense the reaction of the tabaxi from seeing his face.
The tabaxi does turn as you are approaching.
Mm-hmm.
And seeing you, they get a look of sort of, you gotta be kidding me, as they look past you towards where Janai is, with a tone of, what did you do?
Lucky peeking in the doorway.
I will say, if Borrow is trying to pull an intimidation sort of situation, Xanthi kind of probably would have frailed her rings a little bit to kind of make the little tabaxi feel a little cornered.
Janai. What was that, dear? Sorry.
Rose is just standing by one of the bookshelves observing, but she's present inside the room itself.
Janai will respond to in a way that everyone can hear to the tabaxi. I informed them of what you told me.
Did you?
Borrow immediately just goes, does my face look familiar to you?
I've just seen you yesterday.
From before?
No.
You're lying.
I've never met you before.
You have never met me, but you have met someone like me. Have you not?
I have not met anyone like you. Just the aggressive rolling those dice. Jesus Christ, what the fuck was that?
Tarzan.
It's a 35.
On insight?
Mhm.
He does not recognize your face other than yesterday.
What do you know of the name Landros?
Nobody has ever been here of that name.
Do you want me to roll another insight?
You don't.
And what?
You don't have to.
Okay.
That doesn't change the fact that that is what he is saying.
What would my insight tell me?
Your mom.
Well, the fact of the matter is, like, it's plain as day. You can tell he's saying this because there's something more to the story, but that doesn't change the fact that he is saying there has never been here anybody of that name. That is like being in a courtroom and somebody's just like, "Did you kill this dude?" And they're just like, "I plead the fifth."
Coward.
Trained, trained corporate response to certain stimuli.
Tarzan, what is going on?
Lucky is searching through shit right now because he's bored.
Just don't destroy the archive, please.
Wasn't me. What's the name of the guy we're looking for again?
Landros.
Xanthi's gonna go and try to find the L's.
The L section of the archives.
Yes. Because fuck it, why not?
Jesus Christ.
Would that have been
KJ,
the
what are you
way
doing
that
to me?
the archive would have been filed?
Hang on. I need everybody to roll a charisma saving throw or tell me if they willingly fail against Petrichor's zone of truth.
Oh yeah.
Xanthi willingly fails.
I don't know that I'd be able to know whether or not is Petrichor testing it.
Lucky
17.
doesn't even have a.
Well, that's a fail anyway.
But do these monks use the Dewey Decibel system? Tell me.
I think that you said Dewey decibel system, like sound decibels.
Sorry, decibel.
No, it's too late now. It's all based off of sound.
Oh, sorry, I broke one of your sachets. Shit.
Clocky, please.
I can fix it later.
Xanthi's just gonna try to like put the statue back on like where it's supposed to and just kind of awkwardly tilts it.
Okay.
Then is going to search for the elf.
Raise your hand if you are resisting and you got more than a 17.
More than 17? I got 17.
Then that is...
Need to beat it.
Ooh.
Lucky failed.
Alrighty. So, KJ, listening, everybody in the room has either willingly failed or failed
Unknowingly.
or failed the save, with the exception of Janai, who resisted and succeeded.
Babies also.
Oh, apologies. Also Fairuz. What did Fairuz get?
17.
17 also. Ooh, the guests who have question marks in their names just so happen to pass this game.
I didn't know what we were rolling for, so I just rolled. I got plus 11.
Well, yeah, no. Everybody in the room would have had to, because Zone of Truth, it's a Zone of Truth. So,
Zone.
Petrichor, Borrow hears Petrichor saying, ask him again. And Borrow once more, he this time goes, what are you hiding from me about the name Landros?
we're not supposed to talk about it.
Why?
We're not supposed to talk about it.
Damn.
Why?
No.
There is a very good reason why.
Do you know the reason?
Yes,
What is the reason?
we're not supposed to talk about it.
He's not
What is
lying.
it that you're not supposed to talk about?
Say again, I'm sorry?
What is it that you're not supposed to talk about?
Taylor, really quick, while you're looking for L, give me a investigation check with disadvantage.
Ooh.
Yes, sir.
Um,
Investigation.
yes. Bar, what was your latest question?
What are you not supposed to talk about?
The significance of the name Landros.
What is the significance of the name Landros?
Something we're not supposed to talk about.
What is it you're not supposed to talk about?
I could do this all night.
So
That would
on.
be a Dirty Girl 20 for that roll, by the way.
With disadvantage?
Yeah, 15. The second roll was an 18.
So you go through L's and nothing pops up. And then you see section that's like a little bit more, there's a door and you see more books back there and you can see that they are alphabetized and you can see an L. Do you go that way?
Yeah.
Breaking the conversation with Borrow, you're not allowed back there.
Borrow.
Xanthi keeps
That's all
walking.
he needs.
Xanthi keeps walking.
Borrow starts walking as he goes. Is that where the information you're not supposed to talk about is?
The information in that room is restricted, and he is walking in that direction as well.
Xanthi is already sparking lightning off of her wings as she continues to walk in that direction.
Borrow.
The door
Oh,
shuts.
my house.
Xanthi keeps it.
David is
hang
going
on,
to
hang
walk
on.
up to you.
Hang on.
We're getting a little chaotic here.
I'm trying to stop.
Fuck. Falling Maple Seed fails his save against Petrichor casting Hold Person. That doesn't change the fact that the door is closed.
Xanthi's gonna kick it.
Make an attack roll
Just
with your strength modifier. It says an unarmed strike.
Sorry, I can't tell if it's a 13 or an 18. That is fucking flashlight. God damn it. That is a 13 plus 6, I think.
You have a +6 strength modifier?
No, for unarmed strike, it was a +6, or it was a +1. That would be a 14.
14. It's rattling in the frame, but it
Xanthi
doesn't.
immediately just goes, Clucky!
I mean, you didn't even have to say Clucky. Clucky was following the group, and he just pushes on the door.
Bust it down, buddy boy.
Give me an attack roll, Clucky.
Can't just strong arm it.
Can Jedi interpose himself in between this door attack, please? Also, were you gonna say something?
I was, but the hold person sort of ruined it, so I can't right now.
Okay.
I will later.
Mm.
Don't worry about it. Depending how it goes. Go.
Yeah.
Clucky, you rear back to swing, but Janai is between you and the door.
Xanthi immediately grabs whatever Clucky's trying to swing.
Oh no, Clucky was just gonna strong arm it.
Oh, okay.
I think this is getting very out of hand very quickly.
Okay, we won't knock down the door. Xanthi's gonna walk over to the tabaxi and pat him down for keys.
Wait,
Only an investigation check.
Xanthi, wait. Not like this.
God damn it. Xanthi just kind of pouts and she just stands there. She goes, "So what are we gonna do?
Borrow
around.
Please?"
Borrow is going to move to the Tabaxi. What's the name of the master? Sorry.
Maple Seed.
No,
Right,
not
Maple
Maple
Seed.
Seed. Adrian.
Oh,
Uwe,
Mr. Zurich?
Zurich, yes. He moves to the Tabaxi as he just says to them, "You can either open the door, or you can go tell Master Zurich that there are answers that I'd like answers to. But out of respect for what this monastery stands for, I do not want this to become something foul. It is not deserving of this place."
The Tabaxi cannot respond because they are paralyzed.
If Borrow has a sense of the magic that Petrichor has, he would try to find where Petrichor is and sort of tilt his head in their direction as if to ask to drop the spell.
Why you gotta make things the hard way, Borrow?
It would be easy to just start
It's
crashing
not the
things.
monster. It's too easy.
I know we're gonna thank you later for this, but it's frustrating.
Apologies, KJ was disconnected from the stream, so we are waiting for them to respond via Discord. Internet. Anyway. So. Okay. For a moment, there is no change, but eventually, Master Falling Maple Seed has been released. And finally gaining his motor functions back, looks around at all of you and just says, "I'm being very polite when I say I must ask you all politely to leave."
I wish this had gone a much smoother way. Can Master make me a wisdom 18 save?
Maybe.
And can anyone impose any buffs to that if possible?
He does actually pass.
That's unfortunate.
Now he's rolling well.
Now he's rolling well.
Does anything happen on a successful save?
No.
Of whatever you are
Have
attempting?
you got anything?
What'd you say? I'm sorry?
Asking if KJ had anything. Oh, do I have?
The only thing Xanthi has is like to hurt
Silvery
people.
barbs.
Yeah, no, I was like,
Oh wait, I do have silvery. Can I silvery barbs?
You can. Would you like
Silvery
to?
barbs.
yes.
You've been holding on to silvery barbs this whole time? This whole time?
Okay.
What's the DC?
18.
18. It is lower, but it is still better than an 18.
Damn. Who gets the advantage?
Yeah, Xanthi, who gets the advantage?
Oh,
Clucky.
lucky.
Because he fucking needs it right now.
Wait, why do I need it?
It was sarcasm, buddy.
Oh, okay.
Clucky,
Like, what are you about to do to me?
Just out of curiosity, Master, your teachings, are you concerned that this will reflect badly on yourself? Is this a danger to the monastery? Or is this something you were told? Oh, so we might know the reason for our departure, of course.
The reason is you were asked to leave.
Rude.
Is Zone of Truth still on?
He didn't say that.
Yep, that was a different voice.
Uh-huh.
Damn it.
Hi! Is it the bird guy?
A rather imposing-looking Aarakocra stands in the doorway.
Not that imposing. Is it compelling, Jay? Is it? Guess what? It's not that compelling.
Right.
Couldn't help myself, sorry.
Xanthi. Fuck. Xanthi at this point. Oh, fuck.
This is a...
Fuck.
Xanthi is
I
stuck
just
on
realized I have this fucking spell.
What was it?
Dimension Door.
Oh.
Xanthi is just kind of gonna casually walk up to Borrow and just kind of grab him by the wrist and cast Dimension Door. And she goes, "You want in?" Xanthi's walking in.
Hi. How's it going?
Master Zurich, this escalated very quickly.
Silence, Janai.
Borrow is actually going to hug Xanthi before crossing the threshold, as Borrow turns his focus to Zarek and very sincerely, I would much prefer for this to be a conversation where you speak truth instead of concealing and keeping secrets. This already has become much more tainted than anything I would ever want to happen to this monastery.
Xanthi still has like 1 foot in the door, just kind of like standing there like...
Zurich enters the room, getting to a central point where he is maybe 8 feet away from Borrow. This is not a conversation.
Borrow releases himself from Xanthi, putting his position to face straight towards Zurich. He's quiet for a moment, head tilted. Was Landros involved in what happened to this realm? Is the form that you saw in me the form that he used?
I'm sorry, say that last piece again.
Is the form that you saw me do when we first met what he used?
Why must you pry?
Because often, when secrets are kept for the sake of safety, danger sprouts from underneath its soil.
Damn, that's insane.
I'm curious, Borrow. What does this name mean to you?
In another realm, in a different time, in a different existence, Landros of the Waits of Field was my brother.
The atmosphere in this room gets heavy. As if there's a weight that could make all of your legs buckle. If what you say is true, the winds have already decided your fate.
What the hell is that supposed to mean?
Still, you won't speak the truth.
You know, history unlearned is doomed to repeat it.
He has been staring directly at Borrow this whole time. And when Xanthi says that, his gaze shifts for a moment.
She still has Dimension Door open. She still has 1 foot in the freaking doorway.
And he actually gives a small nod. Wise words. So I'll not make the same mistake. Borrow, does an 18 hit you?
Nope.
Xanthi's going through Dimension Door at this point. She's immediately going to be looking for anything on Landros.
His body reacts as if he was going for a sweeping left hook, but it's not the hand that you move out of the way from, as his unarmed strike is coming from his wing, extending that extra distance to try and make impact with you.
Mm-hmm.
And you are able to move out of the way. Next week, Borrow versus Xeric.
Ooh, sheesh.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in.
Thank you, Janai.
Not exactly where I thought this was going to go.
Janai, you're doing great, sweetie.
I'm gonna get kicked out of school.
Our party is just like fucking individuals. Oh, that shit.
Chaos Gremlins.
Chaos Gremlins, indeed. Yeah, we'll see what happens when two master monks have to go. if it actually is going to go toe to toe, we don't know how Barrow's going to respond because that's how cliffhangers work, everybody. We are to be diced. Specifically to El Ravager, I apologize. You just got here. What I can tell you is that in a little bit you can find this episode uploaded on our YouTube, so you can get all of the tea and see what you missed. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. We've been To Be Diced Adventures. See you next time.
Yeah, buddy.